I threw a bomb early. The inspiration struck. We live in a stupid age, but it doesn't seem like people are really dedicated to communicating ideas stupidly. And maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need less Nate Silvers and more like I don't know, like a way that could communicate. So like the left is a fundament, like just like everything that comes out of like the cast-offs of like academia. It's all about like what tomes you've read. Oh, well, have you read this? Well, have you read that? And you know, in each time, a little bit more of the working class just becomes like, you know, Republicans or QAnoners or something. Yeah.
Yes, you've just.
I'm looking at your camera. I'm looking at your ceiling.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. See, there's the only.
No, it's all right. I just.
There's the haggard for the OnlyFans. But okay, so like, okay,
you need your hair cleaned up like mine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's the age. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So like, bear with me here. Okay. So it needs. Okay. So this is the fundamental problem. It's the ideas are sound. People intuitively or on some level really agree with them. Like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all loser shit. It's all loser shit. I mean, it's just it's all bog. It needs a like an American rebrand.
Yeah.
You have it, all the tenets and ideas in like sentences that contain no longer than, like, you have an 8-word limit for your sentences. The pamphlet is 4 pages long, and it's like it's bullet like, what are those called? Bullet points? They're bullet points.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and this is, you call it like, what did those 1994 idiots, those guys were so slick. Just steal from the 1994 Republican. Steal from Newt. Call it
Call it like a coalition.
No. It's the Contract with America is what it was called.
Yeah.
Call it the new contract for Americans. That's what you call it. And then when it's and then what you do is it's all the Marxist ideas and all the socialism you want, but none of that language or bogged down stuff. And when somebody,
none of that proletariats and classes, and
don't ever say any of that. Don't say any of that stuff. It's those are all. It's all dead. And then whenever you introduce it to somebody, when you're knocking on doors, you be like, "Are you a Democrat or a Republican?" "Oh, I'm new American contractualist." What?
Yeah.
Here it is. It's you could read it in 5 minutes. Oh yeah, I'm on about. Yes, this is what me too. I'm like, yeah. And then when the talking heads are on the news and they get all tripped up and they're like, I've read this. It's all this is just socialism. And then they're tripped up and bogged down. Like, because then they're fighting in a wet paper bag.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you fight about
then they're
semantics.
having to argue the theory because he says here,
Yeah.
And
then they've lost. Because that's what we've been doing. All the academics are like, this is just make America great again. It's 4 letters, but it's really just fascism wrapped up in a new and they're like, yeah, fine. You argue about what it's wrapped up in. You argue about it. Meanwhile, we're just like enrolling people over and over. Like people are just signing up for it because we're
I think that's what, like, I don't know. Like, I was like, the highlight of the year for me, I guess, was probably the Vada primary, and I was paying a lot of attention to that.
It wasn't when Trump got Rona.
When Trump got Rona, that was great, but it didn't pay off. No. I guess the Bernie thing didn't pay off either. But there was a legitimate moment where you were like, it wasn't like Schadenfreude. It was like, I'm happy in a good way, not happy in a bad. Like, hey, right. It was something positive is happening other than like, like Trump got the Rona. But
hey,
I remember thinking, and I think, hey, how's it going? I think they talk, the organizers in Nevada and Arizona talk like that in like the Latino communities, like specifically because there's large Latino communities and most of them are service sector, and in Nevada that's pretty big. Like they, these hotels
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of people.
Yes.
Right.
And so they organize because then you have something comparable to, like, the working class that you had in Europe when they were organizing the Communist Party. And so you had all of these workers in giant industrial factories that whole lives are oriented in this way, and you could just talk to them because everybody spoke the same language because they all worked, in factories. And there they all work in hotels. So it's all kind of like the same language, and I think that, like, that's the model, and then that's a way where that language, that new language, can be adopted en masse before anybody can really start. That's just socialism. And you get that new language going, and then you've got like a movement, and then then you get your shoes on before anybody knows what you're doing.
That's what I'm saying, and because that's what's happened here. Like, this was like, it was just a rebrand of old terrible ideas, but
that's sort of what just Trumpism is.
Yes.
It's just conservatism, but with like a Calvin pissing on some Democrat sticker. Like, it's William Buckley with truck nuts, and that's it. And
right.
Yep.
William Buckley with truck nuts. Right. That's what my whole thing is that nobody should who wants to, like, build a coalition, a new coalition, should never don't look back. Don't bring up old dead Germans. Don't even bring up other countries that are social. Like, you have a pamphlet, you have new lexicon, and then you let the enemy sort out, like, the connection.
Walmart and Amazon distribution centers. Those are, I think, like those can be epicenters for this kind of new movement, because you have a lot of people. Like, I think about this, like, our generation was really the last people that went to college thinking they were probably buying a ticket into the middle class.
Right.
Or retaining their status. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it just didn't. I don't think anyone these days has that idea.
Nope.
And I think that's such a fundamental shift that politics aren't ready for it. Joe Biden isn't ready for it, and I don't even really think I think Donald Trump. The people wanted Donald Trump, like the Tucker Carlson people, want Trump to be that, but he's so wrapped up in his own bullshit that it didn't matter,
Right.
But, like, this idea that, like, just that's what I keep thinking about, like, the concepts of decline. It takes away, like, I don't just mean it in, like, a, hey, the roads are bad. Like, I think there's, like, it's like the cultural mindset changes.
Right.
To where you become much more, like, protective.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, you're talking about the cultural mindset. People are watching stuff from, like The Simpsons, and it's weird.
Yeah.
You talk about
the Simpsons are so
high school
weird.
dropout who supports his five-member family.
Right.
Working at the factory and owns up, like, a nice big house, and
And The Simpsons got away with, like, doing just whole stories about class. Like, I mean, they weren't, like, always, like, they weren't perfect, but it was shows about class. They were having dialogues about class. Mostly because everybody was white, everybody was yellow. But so you get to see how weird it is, but the problems were still problems, but now it's just so much bleaker. And it makes you see, it really gives you a feeling, not just of decline, but of like maybe we died. Like, and it's hard to kind of get back to that.
Right.
And yeah, so yes. We started talking about this because we were talking about rebranding. I don't even know how we started talking about this.
I don't remember either. He just tipped a set of dominoes in my head, and I was like, yeah, this is what I've been thinking about.
You want to get rid of all so you want a total new political movement.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean,
The other stuff is too wrapped up in loser stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I mean, talk about old cartoons. I've been going through and through all this old Beavis and Butthead stuff for work, but like,
Ooh. What's that?
I mean, it's just dick and fart jokes, but like, there's something about the squalor that they live in.
Yeah.
Like that the whole, it's like, oh, it's
they're kids and they're left alone too.
Right. Yeah. But it's like the whole, it's like them and Todd is like the cool guy, and he's a guy with like a, he's got like a Firebird or something, like, it's like, I'm not going to say it's like, it's not really hedging new grounds in class discussion or anything, but.
Well, it was a show about someone. I mean, at that time, it was a show about people not in the middle class.
That's true, yeah.
Like, that were not in, that were, yeah. So, like, and I think that, like, Mike Judge, like, where is he from? He's from, like,
He's from
squalid
Texas.
Part of Texas.
Yeah. Texas, yeah.
Right?
I mean,
like,
it's pretty.
But not like the same.
That's Beavis and Butthead. It's just, it's like kids I knew that would, the first or second episode was like they're playing frog baseball, putting firecrackers in dogs' asses and stuff. Like, I don't think you can do that on TV anymore without getting, oh my God, Baby Yoda can't eat some eggs without the people freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Even at the time, they were on the, some dumb kids were doing stuff and getting themselves on the news,
Right.
I
mean,
there was Florida Man before.
It totally was. Yeah.
To your point, Mike Judge also made like the only like studio picture set in a factory in the last 20 years.
Oh shit, you're right.
Extract it's like
yeah,
it's solely about and it like the people who work in it and like the ramifications of them being sold to.
Yeah.
Like he is conscious of all this like of movement in like the economic movement of people in America.
Yeah.
More so than any of his contemporary like funny contemporaries.
Right. Well, it's because he's like Beavis and Butthead isn't about class, but you can tell like where they sit class,
and
like,
that's what I mean.
All the characters
presume
kinda,
that their family, like who their parents are like work, like are gone, presumably like they're like latchkey kids gone wrong,
So I lived a little bit on that bubble where my parents were poor and they were doing well in the 90s. And so I lived in a middle class neighborhood and went to school. But like I was there was trailer parks on the weekend, like family visits were at trailer parks and stuff. I had a friend, but like there was a brief time that I smoked and I was into heavy metal, so you attract the trailer park folk, and that was my people for that.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And there was a friend I had. I was maybe 12, 11, 12, 13. Anyway, so his mom dropped him over at our house and left for a week.
My God.
And my mom was like, I guess we just have to do like, and she like that kid, and that was cool because my best friend.
Yeah, right. But
he was the best friend, but like once they got picked up, I never saw him again.
His situation was so unstable
because grandma got him or some shit.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I remember that being like I don't know. Look back on that. I that was Beavis or Butthead's family situation.
Yes,
too.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember that. That was. I was surprised my mom. Looking back on it, I was surprised my mom took that as well as she did.
Well, I mean, she strikes me as somebody who's like grew up and like saw some stuff. Like, she wasn't.
Yeah, but she's also hyper judgmental of people who don't take care of their shit, and I don't know. Like this was, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Right.
But no, I think it says something.
She just wasn't doing it in front of. I don't know. Like I don't think that.
And
that would have been a unique. That would.
I was about to say, wait a minute, I don't know about that.
She never kept her opinion. It's like she wasn't shielding you from her opinion too, because she's never done that, right?
Oh.
No.
Nope.
Right.
Never.
So that's why.
It's like, wait a minute, who am I talking about here? No.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, well, I know the woman's never shielded you from what she thought.
That may have been a little bit of a situation.
That's amazing.
No. I think that she was. I think maybe they gave my mom money.
And then she clammed
she
up
about
about
that.
She clammed up about.
And then I just never asked.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, like, okay, we'll take it. That's they may have gave my mom money. Money is the easiest answer to that.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if they had to go on the lamb or something. I don't know. I think there may have been jail.
There are different versions of going on the lamb. Like, even
Yes,
if it's just like
yeah.
avoiding a landlord or like, there's other, or bill collectors or whatever. I mean, there's
Yeah, that
Or
is
Dog the
true.
Bounty Hunter. Who knows?
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Or she just met a dude and he had a good she met a good dude and he had some blow.
They went to
and
Sturgis, you think?
Yeah.
They went to Sturgis or New Orleans, where we were close to Memphis. Everybody went to New Orleans.
Yeah.
That was where you
Orleans,
go
yes.
and like throw your life away. Yeah,
That's the spot.
If you were real poor in the rural area, yeah, you'd go to Nashville.
Everybody has to have.
Yes.
Everybody needs
Everybody
needs a place like that to like. It's a bigger place to go.
Or you go to Biloxi, right?
We didn't live close to Biloxi.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
well, it's on the way to New Orleans.
I mean, yeah, New Orleans was more fun than Biloxi.
Yeah, that's true.
Biloxi is if you wanted to gamble, right?
Right,
and
right.
then New Orleans
Yeah.
was if you wanted to do drugs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, but Mike Judge, he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
I like Mike Judge. What are we? How's everybody doing?